talking about getting scholarships too, so, you just did the, going through, like, how did you do your research on finding out what's available out there?
Well, for son number one, people found him because of the music. So if you happen to have a performance talent, you know, that's how people see you, because you're performing different than maybe academic, because you can't be on stage and do your thing. So actually they found him through different opportunities, different musical competitions and things like that. So not too much searching there. Son number three, he found a lot of things on his own. I've given my kids a lot of resources. I look too, but I tell them, you know, this is your job too. You gotta look, you gotta, you know, you gotta make your path, you gotta make it happen. And so he found quite a few scholarship opportunities. He's going for an interview in Ottawa in another couple of weeks for another potential scholarship. So yeah, they're out there. Just look, Google. There are links on the grad planner that I showed. Just go from there.
I know one of the scholarships we got for one of our children was because we have Ukrainian heritage, and so the grandmother belonged to Ukrainian Society, and she wrote a letter applying, you know, just had to basically, again, being able to write is huge, right?
Huge.
So, she got it.
I found them hard to find. I tried looking at some, and Chantal and I both did, and we found it, they were difficult to find scholarships. Like, and then you find one, it's like, well, this doesn't really apply. So it's really, we found them difficult to find. And we even emailed the teacher, and she said they didn't give us a lot of information. So we found looking for scholarships was hard. So we didn't know where to look and how to find them. And, you know, we were just looking for anything that would just pop up. So
Did
we found them difficult.
Did Chantal do the dogwood, Diana?
Oh, she did, yeah.
She did, okay.
Yeah, she did. She's got way more credits.
No, I know, but I just wondered if she went the dogwood route or she went the
She did.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So
she graduated with like 140 some credits because she did so many extra courses.
yeah.
But she didn't necessarily need a scholarship because she ended up not going into post-secondary, like into college or university or anything. So far she hasn't needed it. I don't know if you can use it for, I don't think you can use it for Christian studies. I think like you can use it for Bible college or anything like that. I don't know if you can.
You just go to the institution that your son or daughter wants to attend and see what they have to offer. Work backwards like that.
Yeah. Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's so wherever she eventually wants to go, they will have scholarships.
Oh.
And then you find out what are the requirements, and that's like you said, that's starting from there, working backwards. But that's definitely a place to start.
So even like Christian
absolutely.
colleges have those.
Absolutely.
Oh, right.
Often it's very competitive because depending on the student, colleges want students, right? So
they need them.
They need them, right? And so, you know, so they will give. And a very common one is called the President's Entrance Scholarship, which is what they will get given to say, please, we want you to come to this college, and they'll usually give them a good one, which is renewable if you keep your GPA up. But TLA definitely I found very helpful with links to scholarships. If you contact the person that deals with the grads, that's one. And then just different.
Is that, so you did TLA?
Yes,
with
Josh and Nicole, but actually
who were you with then?
We did Heritage, son number one, because they had the best thing going at that time, to do your own thing plus DL courses, and then we did TLA for the others. Find a good school of registration, stick with it. Stick with it so you can develop relationships, so that you can develop references. If you're bouncing around, it's going to be pretty hard to do things like that. Also, we just got to cover things like trades, all those sorts of things. I'm not particularly one to push university. It's just not a fit for everybody. Don't send your son or daughter there if you're not interested.
Absolutely.
You know, there's things in business, entrepreneurship, tons of trades out there. And also the grad planner shows you exactly the programs there and how to find those. You can start those in high school as well. You can start apprenticeships in high school, hairdressing, mechanics, etc. So if you have a student like that, don't make them wait. you know, have them slogging through things that they're not
And
interested
I
in.
know our son did his grade 12 year, he actually did an extra year because you could actually stay in high school
Yes.
until 19. And so TLA put him, like, because he was interested in doing honor work, he had his first year at Vancouver City College, where he went, BCC, paid for by TLA because he was still a high school student. But he was doing it at BCC.
You have to enroll before, like, the cutoff is what, July 31st of the year they turn 19 or something like that. I mean, my son signed up for a course, I thought, he's finished, how can he still really pay for it? So, just if you're in before a certain deadline.
And you're considered a high school student and your school is
Yeah, if you're still, you haven't, because he didn't actually officially graduate, because he didn't do some, grad
transition.
Or some students just, they just intentionally don't finish that grad transition course, so they can hold off, so they can take another course or improve their grades or whatever it is.
Another thing that students often really struggle with doing and consider really a waste of time is planning. They have to do. But there's a lot of things that you can show you've done that already. You know, again, talk to the teacher that's, you know, overseeing it if you're doing that route, and you can often get credit for all sorts of things.
Or find a provider who's got a shortened version of planning.
Yes. Yeah.
They're out there.
So you had a question?
Yeah, you were saying that you're enrolled in the school, right? But then you said you would go to other providers and e-bus, and how does that work with financing, the paying of it?
Well, you don't, they, like the grad program, grade 10, like they don't give you any money, they just pay for it all. So you have one school of registration holds your marks, like your main school is, say, TLA, and then you can shop around to eBus, to Sides, to Open Learning, and you can add that onto
Even
Your school record.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it never used to be like that, so
Yeah.
maybe that's why you're a little confused.
Yeah.
And it's different for high school too, like that happened, well, I don't know at what point it starts, but yeah, you can take one course one place, one course another place, you just have your school of record as one school.
I think it only believe it only starts in grade 10.
Okay.
Grade
They
teachers
changed
can
the
change
old,
it.
right?
Yeah, they changed
And I think about anything that you say is true right now, but it could be not
Yeah.
true in a month from now, right? And they're opening up things more and more,
Yeah,
so,
always check back with the government website, they're all up to date.
yeah.
with
Learn
your-
Now BC
But
website.
Yeah.
yeah, and if you do that, you do have to make sure that it's very definite what your school of record is, because schools love it when as a homeschooler that homeschool is attached to that school of record, because the funding then goes mostly to that school. So you really have to be careful, because I heard of somebody saying, yeah, they had two schools claiming them as their student, right? So you just have to make sure that it's very clear what you're doing.
I just want to bring up a point that Betty made, I think is very important, and thanks for bringing that up, Betty, is regarding the importance of trying your very best to stick with one school. I know it's not always possible, but for the very reasons that what Betty said was forming relationships, it actually just is helpful in so many ways for your student afterwards. And I know for my children got great references from teachers, from the principal, because we had formed that relationship with them. Now, that doesn't mean you can never change, because sometimes, you have to, but be careful of, and that's again, when I went back to the thing of, we look at other people, oh, they're doing this and they're doing that, and then you hear, no, that school's better, or that provider's better, or, oh, this teacher makes it so much easier, and so then we start going, okay, let's try this, and then the following year you're trying that, and I just think consistency, there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, keep your base school of registration, but then feel
Yes,
free to
exactly.
just pick courses wherever the best ones are available for you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you mentioned about the doing courses like in grade 10, 11, 12, like for the trades. Like, in the high schools, if you go to the high school, they offer those ACIT programs, I guess they are, for like whatever trade you might want to go into, mechanics, carpentry, hairdressing, whatever you decide. Do they have something similar for that for homeschoolers, or if our kids want to go that route, do they have to just go to the school, go to high school?
Well, good question. Me and Karen was talking about being enrolled with TLA and then being able to go to BCC for a trade. So I'm sure you can probably work out a couple of things. So when you go to Learn BC, it's actually a trade finder on there as well. You can see what you're looking for. Say you're looking for hairdressing, it will show you in every area, school area that offers this hairdressing program. Contact the person there and kind of see what the program's like. Then go back to your school of registration, like Heritage or TLA, and say, I want to do this. How can we work out something where I don't have to do like their English class or their, you know, whatever, and just do the trade part and then do the other side. Let's see what you can work out. Oftentimes there is something you can do.
You all know that website, that learnnowbc.ca, that's,
Mm-hmm.
tell that learnnowbc.ca, it's a government-funded website, it's got every single BL course, and that if you phone their advice people, they're very good. They're the best.
No, and
They
that's
give you
in
accurate
here.
information.
That's in here as well.
I like to tell other families about that too, because as kids never hear about it from the school teachers, and the teachers never tell them about it, but it's the best resource for almost what they're writing for.
Yeah, there's tutoring on there too. There's free
The
tutoring. There's
advice people
help.
are
There's
so good,
yeah.
honest.
With the ASIC program, I know they run, they'll do sort of one full day of the trade or whatever it is, and then the next would be an academic, and then a trade and academic. So since you're rotating, you can do trade and then your homeschool kind of academic now.
Yeah, so I would ask
But
for
it
an
is actually
abbreviated course that would match like the ASIC program, an abbreviated English or an abbreviated something that would still hit the outcomes but wouldn't be really lengthy.
Yes. Abbreviated course from a homeschool teacher or
Provider,
homeschool
yeah.
provider,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're willing to do a lot of legwork and things like that and make it easy for them, I find they're very willing to accommodate you. If you walk in and just say, I want to do this, can you just do it all for me? They're like, well, I've got, 100 students. How am I going to, do this for you? But if you make it easy, give them the information, tell them what you want, tell them all this research you've done already, they're really good to help you out.
And does that require a dogwood certificate if you do something like that to do a trade? Like, does that require a dogwood or?
You get it after, you part of your.
Or do you need a dogwood?
You
if
did, yeah,
decide to go-
Daryl got a job with,
Pardon me?
so, yeah.
But I'm wondering, is it required? Like, do you need a dogwood if you go to the trade? No, to get into the trades? I don't know.
So you mean to go to post-secondary, do you need a dogwood?
Or because
Trades is posting.
Yeah, I guess.
Or
BCIT
trade-
is different.
Or the trade in high school, like you can start a trade in high school.
It gives you first year for.
But it gives you first year of basically, like BCIT, yeah, do you need dogwood?
You don't have to have a dogwood, actually, you don't have to have a dogwood for.
When you look at the requirements, they don't say you need a dogwood, they say you need English 11 or French, whatever it is, they don't ask for the dogwood because it doesn't really mean
So
anything.
my daughter now, it's been a few years since she did this. She actually never got her dogwood, but she was doing school online with Vancouver School Board and then applied at college. And all I wanted to see was her intern transcript, which she got from the school. But she ended up not finishing, getting her dogwood because she didn't actually ended up finishing one course, but she got accepted into the college and went. And the college transferred straight to BCIT. And so she ended up graduating from BCIT in nursing without ever having a dogwood.
They want your particular courses sometimes, and that's their.
Yeah, they wanted to see that she'd done, some science and some math, and obviously English. English is, you always have to have your English.
Remember
And she paid for schooling, working part-time, and scholarships. She finished her nursing degree without any loans.
But if you have to have, you have to have your English 12, obviously, so you have to do the provincial exam. Or you don't, because I thought dogwood requires a provincial exam.
Yes,
is
it
what I
does.
understand, right?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't need to do
You
the
don't
provincial
have to.
exam? You just need to do.
Not to go to
course.
college. You can go to college like a mature student, right?
You when you're 19.
You can go at 19, Douglas College will take you at 17 if you show you haven't been full-time going to school. So what we did is we
Quit
started.
school in grade 10.
Well,
You're going to school, now you're going to college.
You know what, there's a lot of gaps in there, and so they really are trying to get students in, but students.
it's a buyer's market
Yeah,
because they don't have enough students. That's why they're always advertising. They need you more than you need them, right? That's why it's opened up so much.
Yeah, so what we did is we started college in grade 12. We did the first semester, we loved it, did a second semester, we loved it, and I said, you know what, let's just see how long we're going to roll this through before doing the formal application. Let's just see if this, we can slide by, and if we can't, well, it won't matter, we have paperwork. So we registered for the third course when he was, quote, graduated, and they didn't say anything till about November. Oh, by the way. Yes, I said, no problem, and they said, okay, well, he can, next semester, he's eligible to do 3 max courses, and on we went, and after that, he can do unlimited courses, so it just, it never hindered us in any kind of way, ever.
So the key is
So we're getting.
There's
Starter-
there's fewer kids and there's only spaces, they need to have people's butts in the seats.
Yeah, work backwards, really work backwards. See where your student wants to go, and then see the requirements. Always try and go backwards rather than trying to think what they might need. You're not going to be able to, cover every area, but obviously if your student wants to go into, baking or cooking or school or something like that, you're not going to do necessarily physics and all of that. So kind of think that way. If they want physics later, fine. They can take physics on their own in a ton of easy ways.
A question, remember you said something about a place where you could find out, for example, where they can get credits outside of school, like say something that they're interested in. Is there a place that you could find out sort of what they needed or how to get those credits? Like what courses are offered on that one?
the magic book.
Yeah, the external credits. It's called external credits.
And there are a ton of things they can get credits for.
Yeah, it just is the license.
The Royal Conservatory, music theory, just on scripts,
Refereeing, if they're a junior soccer ref, they ref baseball.
No, my problem is with an anxious daughter who doesn't do any of those things. Yeah, but that's not necessarily great. So when she likes photography, so I know her lead night, she took photography at Shadbolt, they offered for homeschoolers, and she got credits for those as if they were courses for high school. I just said, okay, she's going to do photography through an art through the Shadbolt Centre, and they gave her credits for her program.
That's an excellent example. Yeah, use tons of things like that to pull in for credits.
I'm going to actually pull Catherine Haller, thinking for next year she wants to do a writing course. She wants to do creative writing, and TLA offered it, but now they don't have it. So somebody today I was talking to somebody, and they suggested if you get a teacher who's willing to supervise her, and Catherine Haller's great with creative writing, I think I'm going to talk to her and see if she can be her supervisor and have her do a creative writing class for her grade 12 because she wants to do it.
Yeah, do IDS, independent directed studies, and then you can have Catherine be the supervising teacher. You can submit your outline, and then at your school at registration, then you also need a teacher who's going to keep track of marks and work they want to see and things like that.
Any other questions? This is great. Isn't it encouraging? I find it encouraging that there's so much out there that we can do. We sometimes tend to think in the box because that's what school is all about, right? As one school, we don't have to do that. So thank you so much, both of you. That was okay, I think our library will be open in a few minutes. Who's doing library tonight? Is it Monica? Yeah. Okay. And anything else? Anything I've missed? I haven't had a meeting for so long. We all take turns with the meetings. If you're not usually here, that's why.